Huh? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين أما بعد Alhamdulillah, we are continuing reflecting on the surahs of the Quran, or the surah of the Quran, as it was revealed in the order of revelation and in the chronological order of revelation. And the last few sessions we were talking about 3 surahs that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us about. The one who wants to know about the day of judgment and what happens in it, recite and read those surahs. Surah Al-Takwir, Surah Al-Infitar, and Surah Al-Inshiqaq. We talked about the first 2 surahs. We'll start today with Surah Al-Inshiqaq. Again, the reason why we're talking about the Quran in this sequence is to reflect on the seerah, the general look of the seerah, and how and what the companions were going through, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is leading them, taking them, raising them, teaching them, so they will become the best ever human being walked on earth. Stages. And we are in the stage of the first stage of Mecca, the Meccan period, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mainly now talks about, after the da'wah, the call to Islam became public to everyone around. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about al-ghaib of the day of judgment. Okay? The clarity of that day. So, Surah Al-Inshiqaq starts with like the other 2 surahs. You know, Surah Al-Infitar, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ, when the skies, when the, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ in Surah Al-Infitar, when the sky is split, okay, open. And Surah At-Takwir, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ, when the sun is folded. These are events that is going to happen in the skies, and then one event after another. So it is similar. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ وَإِذْ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. These are the 5 إِذَا, just like the other surahs إِذَا. إِذَا this, إِذَا this, إِذَا this, meaning when that happened, when that happened, and when that happened. This is similar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the skies and the earth, the only 2 that talk about it in this surah. However, in the other 2 surahs, there is something that is logical, which is either when this happens, then you expect something will happen. When this happens, that happens. Okay, that happens when this happens. Like that. There is in Arabic is shart and jawab is shart. There is a condition that you put and say when this happened, now you want to wait. you're waiting to hear, okay, when the sun this, when the mountain this, when the animals this, when the human being is, and so forth, then this will happen. Okay? But in this surah, Surah Al-Inshiqaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes the rhythm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us when this happens, but does not tell us then this will happen. It does not say. Left it open. Okay? So it seems like it is something missing. Something missing. Like if I tell you, you know, when I entered the masjid, or when I enter the masjid, you know, I'll see people praying. Okay? Now I'm telling you, when I entered the masjid, or when I enter the masjid, and then stops. You want to know what? But here, you do not feel that way. Why? Because you've been listening before, and you know what it is, right? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah At-Takwir, إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت. See, all of this is, and then علمت نفس ما أحضرت. Every nafs will find what they brought forward here, or brought forth. Okay? So you're used to this. Okay? And then the Surah Al-Infitar, إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا القبور بعثرت, and so forth. And then علمت نفس, what is the answer now? What is then, the then sentence? علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت. Every nafs would know what it brought forth and what it did delayed. But here, Allah subhanahu, and then what happens in the last two surahs? After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, then, you know, every nafs will find and so forth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, talk to mankind, يا أيها الإنسان. Okay? ما غرك بربك الكريم. Okay. O mankind, you know what was deluded about you, your Lord, right? So you find either is this when, then, and then mankind, Allah's talking about them, what's wrong with you, and so forth. But this one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes from either to mankind right away. Does not tell us what's happening in the day of judgment, you know, or when this happened, what exactly will happen. Allah did not say. And you do not feel strange or anything strange in this, because you heard it again, you heard it before. So you're flowing, and you know already when this happens, what will happen. You already know already. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes to al-insan. يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك. Okay, so that is something different about the rhythm, but it's not so different because you don't feel, you know, odd about this. Again, it is the eloquence of the Quran. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إذا السماء شقت. When the skies انشقت. Before the surah, before Surah Al-Infitar, إذا السماء انفطرت. When the sky انفطرت. When we say that when the sky انفطرت, we say it's split. But here also when we say إذا السماء انشقت, when it is split. But there is a difference between انفطرت and انشقت. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken us in stages. First talked about the sun, okay, folded. Okay, it is something strange, but nothing, you know, nothing is coming, jumping at you. But then the sky infatarat. Infatarat, we said infitar, it is like when you have a piece of, let us say, hide. Okay. and you put something in it sharp, and it comes out on the other side. You poke something in it, and it makes a tear in it. Okay, so now it is tearing. It's tearing, but it's still there. The tearing it's tearing, but it is still, could be, together still, but it's tearing. Something unusual. Okay. But then inshaqqat means split, but it's not split as it's tearing, but it's split in a way that is not to be fixed. Because in inshiqaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say about an inshiqaq, or the language, an inshiqaq is for something solid to be broken. Not something that is soft and to be teared here and there. No, it is something broken. So what is the difference? When something solid broken, then there is no hope, no expectation of it will behave the way it was before, because it is broken. At the same time, no hope in that it will get back together. It's done. Okay? So right away when you hear this word, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, the brain will look at it as how can the sky become broken? Okay? The land, the earth will have inshiqaq in it, we understand. The earth will have a shaq in it because it is solid. So it is inshaqqat. But how a sama will inshiqaq will happen to a sama? It's something strange to think about how it happened. At the same time, it's very scary now, because before is okay, something is going to happen, but we don't know what it is. Now there is no fixing to it. This is the last stage. Okay. Now, so إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ gives you a certain image. Okay. وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. أذنت, you know what that reminds you with the word adhan, right? Adhinat, or the word udhun. Adhan, you know what the adhan of the prayer is. And what udhun? Udhun means an ear, is an udhun. Okay? So these three letters word would give an impression of something you listen to, or something you are, or a permission. Like in English when you say, yes, I'm listening, meaning I am listening, I'm hearing you, or I'm listening, like I'm ready to obey you. Similarly in Arabic, okay? So أذنت لربها. Before we go to there, إذا السماء انشقت. انشقت has another meaning to it, or another dimension to the meaning. انفعل, انشق. Okay? It gives the impression of it is happening on its own, not happening by someone. Okay? How do you explain that? Remember when we said before, the door was opened and we don't know who opened it, but someone opened it. We say فُتِحَ الْبَابُ. فُتِحَ الْبَابُ. The U-E sound, right? فُتِحَ الْبَابُ. Okay? So that means the door was opened and somebody opened the door, but we don't know who it is. It was opened, right? But if we say in fataha, so fataha will be in fataha, which is in fa'ala. That means the door was opened by itself. Nobody opened it. Okay? For example, if I say that shay kusira al-kursiyu, the chair was broken, meaning kusira. That means somebody broke it, but I'm not mentioning who did. But if I say in fa'ala, I would say in kasara al-kursi, meaning the chair was broke. But broken what? Meaning it was there and then it just broke. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have said, using the dhamma and kasra, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ شُقَّتْ or fatha, dhamma and fatha, شُقَّتْ. Okay? That would be what? That it was made to be split, meaning a force split it. But when we hear inshaqqat, that means it itself did this. Okay? Again, this when an Arab at that time, Arab today, you listen to this, it just goes over their head. But at most of them, anyway, I'm one of them. Okay, but at the time, when an Arab hears this, the one who knows Arabic hears this, it's amazing. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ شَقَّتْ. Okay, it is as if it's solid broke and never going to be fixed again. At the same time, it itself, this happened to it. There's no force that came and did this. Okay, so as if it has a mind of its own. So now we go to وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا. أَذِنَتْ, we said udhun, or to hear or to listen, okay, for its Lord, or to its Lord, لِرَبِّهَا. So what does that mean? It could mean two things, or one of two things, or both. Azinat meaning is paying attention, waiting for the command. Okay? So when it's paying attention, waiting for the command, it means it itself waiting to do that, hoping to do that, looking forward to do that, cannot wait to do that. Okay? Is listening as if I am ready, Allah, give me the word. Okay? Or it is itself was given the command. Okay? That is did not just or it was given the command, meaning the command was given already, meaning the permission was given. So either it is waiting for the permission, cannot wait for it, or it was given the permission, or it heard the permission and the command. Okay, so here it is give you the impression that first of all, for the sky to split, it was created with that component in it, and it knows that this is the end, and it knows that it is going to do that, and is looking forward for this. Okay, and now it is time. Okay, cannot wait for this. You know, in Surah Maryam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا, when they said that they said that the most merciful has a son, لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا, that you said something that is so great. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the skies and the earth. What happened to the sky and the earth when they listen and hear mankind saying that Allah has a son? لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ. Okay, انفطرت. Remember انفطرت? The sky is about, it did not, but about to what? To split like that. وَتَنْشَقُّ الْأَرْض, انشقاق is here. وَتَنْشَقُّ الْأَرْض, and the earth will split open. وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدًّا. And the mountains will collapse and fall to pieces. And دعوا للرحمن ولدا, because they said that Allah has a son. Okay? So in that surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the sky wants to do this, the earth wants to do this, the mountain wants to do this, because of what human being is saying. Now it is getting the chance to do it. It is time to do it. That is the impression you get about the sky. Okay? Okay. وَحُقَّتْ. What is haqq? Haqq is absolute truth and justice. وَحُقَّتْ meaning, and it should really, it should. How could it not do that? How could it not be waiting for this? Of course, like it will be like this. Of course it is. And it is rightly so it will do this. Okay? That is the gist of this, or the gist of this. that is, إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت. Now we can get a picture, okay, that the sky is saying, Allah, let me go to the destiny that you created me for. I want this matter to end, and I know how I behave in this ending here. Okay? And waiting, cannot wait for this. Okay? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the earth the same way. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. Okay. But here, when the earth muddat, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us about the earth is not doing the same thing at the same way as the skies. The sky is what inshaqqat. Okay, here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could say imtaddat, but with the same rhythm in fa'alat, but here is muddat. The dhamma and fatha, meaning it was made. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say that it's done on its own, but it was made to do that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angel, it was made to be stretched, to stretch. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. But then وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا. It threw out what's in it. Now أَلْقَتْ, it wanted to do that. Okay? It wanted to do that. It pushed everything out of it. Okay. So, وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ, when the earth stretched meaning flattened. Flattened. لا ترى فيها عوجا ولا أمتا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you will not find فيها in it any hill or any going down or up. Okay, or crooked, it is flat. Okay, muddat. And as soon as muddat, alqat. Alqa الشيء meaning to throw it. Not just to put it. No, it has a force and a distance. A force and a distance when you throw something. Okay. Alqat ma fiha. What's in it? It threw it out. So, remember that what happened to the grave in the surah before? Okay? And now all the canoes, what the earth has, okay? Everything that it is within the earth. Remember, everything that we do, it is affecting the earth that we are on. And the earth, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Maryam as well, it is conscious. It has a conscience. And is upset of what's going on it and what mankind is saying and the disobedience of mankind. And it wants to do that. It wants throughout everything that mankind has in it and everything in it, just throw it out. وَتَخَلَّتْ. تخلى meaning, تخلى عن الشيء meaning emptied out and care less about it. Okay? You know, I'm going to throw throw everything وتخلى عنها, meaning I turn my back on it. Okay, like go. Okay, like you cannot ask me for anything after that. Between me and you now is takhalli, khalas. It is done. It is emptiness, and you cannot hope in anything from me anymore. Okay, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the earth, the skies and the earth. Okay, وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ. And then وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. The same thing. It was waiting and listening, okay, for the command, and it was listening, and the command was given, and it was really happy to do so. You know, when something reaches its peak in performance, and it reaches its peak in performance, that's great. That's greatness, whatever it is. Okay? So the earth knows, the sky knows, and the earth knows that this is the last move. This is the last, the end of all of this. Okay? And is waiting for it. And now it is upset, if you will, with all what's happening on it, what's happening in it, and wants to push it all out, to throw it out and say, I have nothing to do with you. Okay? Like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by these words, telling us that the sky has a conscience. And how beautiful the language is, meaning, you know, in English you say, oh yeah, this has a conscience. No, just a couple of words will tell you the emotion, the actions, the feelings, okay, of the objects that you see, and you call it an object. No, it has a conscience. Okay? You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about Fir'aun. When Fir'aun died and the soldier died, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا بَكَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ. That the skies and the earth did not cry over them. This is not a figure of speech. This is literally, because a figure of speech, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell us in the Quran, there is no allegorical in the Quran. There is nothing allegorical in the Quran. Except when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us so beforehand. Tell you, I'm going to give you an allegorical sentences here or verses and tell us. Right? So that means when Pharaoh died, when the soldiers died and drowned, the skies and the earth did not actually feel good, did not cry over them. What does that mean? That means the skies and the earth will cry over someone. That's what it means. If it did not cry over someone, it could cry over someone. It has an effect over someone. The place we are in here, a masjid that used to be a church. Okay? Can you imagine the earth that this is on it? How did it feel? Okay? وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا, what all of this was doing and feeling, right? Can you imagine we came in and gave the adhan for the first time? How this building was happy. How this earth that we're standing on here was taking a sigh of breath of relief. Okay? Wallahu a'lam. But I'm exaggerating here, but it is within the meaning. It is not made up. It is within what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Yes, the earth and the skies and all the creation has a feeling, it has conscience, reacts, and does not make mistakes. Does not have the ability to make mistakes. Does not have the ability to disobey. Therefore, it is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. Making dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. So when it looks at a son of Adam and doing this and receiving all kind of gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَذِنَتْ رَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. حقت. It has the right to do that. Sure, it should do that. Okay? Now, when all this happened, we want to hear what? It's like the other two surahs. Okay? The other two surahs, the first one, Surah Al-Takwir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ. That is when every nafs, عَلِمَتْ مَا أَحْضَرَتْ, what it brought. Okay, meaning their deeds. And the second surah, Surah Al-Infitar, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. The nafs, every nafs knew what it brought forth, and it left back and pushed back or delayed. Okay? So now here, there's nothing like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes right to the insan. Ya ayyuhal insan. O insan. Okay? So what happened to the insan, and who is al insan? Alaykum salam. Yes. وأذنت لربها وحقت. Okay. يا أيها الإنسان جزاك الله خيرا. Insan is again from uns or nisyan. Uns is cannot live alone. One good company. Okay, yearning for company that is good. This is how human being is created. And that's from uns. And from nisyan meaning forgetfulness. They will forget. Ya ayyuhal insan. O mankind, innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqih. You're going to toil, work hard toward your Lord until you meet Him. And you will meet Him. Okay? فَمُلَاقِيهِ. Then you will meet Him. Okay? This is a testimony of a fact, an information about a fact, that this is what you're going to do. This is what you actually are doing. And you cannot deny that. Okay? That إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَى رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا فَمُلَاقِيهِ. That you are working hard toward your Lord and you will meet Him. In this earth, everything that we need, we need to exert an effort to get. The animals do that as well. The animals do that. They exert an effort to get what they need. But a bird will fly in the morning 100% dependence on Allah and come back full. And it itself does not quite know where it is going to go, what is going to find. Goes by instincts, just fly by instincts. It's designed to do that. And 100% dependent on Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about a bird, al-hudhud. Okay? Al-hudhud at the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Okay? When Sulaiman alayhi salam told us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that about that the animals, okay, and the birds all came, okay, in front of him an appointed time, and he looked and he did not find al-hudhud, a bird about the palm of your hand, okay, and it has a crown, you can open it and close it, okay, over its head, has a beak that is so long, and it eats worms. It lands on the ground, dig on the ground, and then pick up the worms and eat it. So he wanted to, that لأذبحنه أو لأعذبنه. That is that I would punish him severely, or I will slaughter him because he did not come at the appointed time. Or he gives me some news. What happened? Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the bird came and stayed غير بعيد, meaning not very close but not very far. Meaning he was scared. Okay? And what did he say to Sulaiman alayhi salam? جئتك من سبأ بنبأ عظيم. I came to you from Saba with a news that is so huge. Okay? So he picked, just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, here is a bird dealing with the king and the prophet of Allah, okay? And he is telling him, he's dealing with him in a political way, if you will. He's just giving him the words to make him curious, so he forget about that he was late. Okay? That this is the reason I was late. Okay? What happened? Tell me. Okay? He said, I came from a people that a woman ruling them, and they worship the sun beside Allah. That is shay'un azim to the bird. He knows shirk. He knows this is shirk. He knows that how could they worship the sun? And then he said, shouldn't they worship الذي يخرج الخبأ, that is the one who brings what is hidden out from the skies and the earth, that which is hidden out. What does that mean? Why is he talking like that? What is this example to this particular bird? He's actually saying that when he goes to find the worms, what does he do? You see it flying, goes to an area, grassy area, and he would know where the worms are because of maybe the moisture in the air, the kind of area and so forth. And it lands, and you see it quickly digging the earth with its beak, and then finding the worm and taking it. But what he's saying, this is, shouldn't they worship the one that gets what's hidden out? He's the one who gets it out, right? He is the one actually who gets it out. But he's saying, no, I do the action, but actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is providing for me. This is the sophistication of the belief and submission of all animals and birds beside man. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling mankind, إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَى رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا. You are working hard, toiling in this earth. Okay? We get up and do work and so forth and so on, but our heart is attached to the means. Right? But the heart shouldn't be attached to the means. The limbs should be attached to the means. Meaning, you have to get up and go to work. You have to dig the ground and put the seed and cover it and water it and weed it and all of that so you can get a harvest. But you're not going, the result is not from you, it is from Allah. It is difficult for us to do that. It is difficult to do it. So the kind of fear that we would have, because our effort is not bringing something that has a touch of shirk in it. Why? Because this result is from Allah. Okay? So if it is not meant that you will reach it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us from the dua that he gives us after the prayer, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Allahumma la mu'tiya la mani' lima a'tayt wa la mu'tiya lima mana'at. Okay? No one will stop what you are giving. No one can stop what you are giving. And no one can give what you are stopping. Khalas, it is done. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is the kind of creation that you are in. You have to do work. But you should know that this work that you're doing here, at the end of it, يُكَادِحْ إِلَى رَبِّكَ. You're doing this, and your destination is your Rabb. So here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, not كادح إلى الله. No, كادح إلى ربك. Okay, if كادح إلى الله, that means Allah is telling you, talking about the uluhiyya issue. That you take Allah as an ilah, you should be worshipping Allah, this and that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, remember, you work in all of this and you're going to find the one that actually provide for you, because this is the essence of Rabb. The Rabb, the essence of it has a lot of meanings, a lot of dimension to the meaning. But the main meaning of it, that as far as I understanding, is Rabb is the Murabbi, and the one who is taking the caretaker. The caretaker. You're working so hard, and you're gonna come to meet. Okay, you'll be in the meeting with the one who took care of you. Do not forget about that. Do not forget that all of this here, okay, you are not doing it independent from Allah. Okay, think about it a little more. Think about it a lot more. Reflect on all of this. There are many factors that prevent us from reaching our goal, that we have nothing to do with it. Factors that prevent us from reaching our goal, okay, and we have nothing to do with it. As we said before, I can say I want to go to the end of the room to get a cup of water. The factors that I'm not in control of is in the hundreds, it's not in thousands, in just these few steps. There is a heart that is working. There is a muscle that's working. There is a land I'm working on. There is an air and wind. There is a destination that I don't know if it's going to stay there or not. I don't know how all of this is going to work out. Okay, so what happens? You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes things easy for me. Things works out for me. So I stand up, do not think of anything at all. Not much of it at all. All I have to do is just walk to the end and get that cup of water. That's already there. Or get it and turn the faucet on, and I know the water will come out. You know, taking everything for granted. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by that word telling you, إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا. كَادِحٌ كَدْحًا. When the word is repeated in this form, that means an exaggeration of the action. Okay? Working hard, very absolutely hard. And that is with resistance. Kadh has the impression of resistance, meaning you're doing work and it's not easy. You are pushing forth, but it's not quite a paved path, easy to the goal we are going to. Bismillah. 5 minutes more. Okay. Time passes quick when you're having a good time, right? Alhamdulillah. Okay, our muadhin says we have 5 minutes. So, inshallah, we read the rest of the surah, reflect on it, okay, and just quickly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will swear, and as we learned, Allah will swear by something on something, okay? So Allah will see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by, using, and then what he's swearing on, and then make the connection between the two. Usually it's so beautiful in the Quran. When you go, look any place in the Quran when Allah swears by something, okay? It is always exciting. to see what is this Allah that swears by have in common, okay? And then look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing on, and you say, oh, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about this. Okay? It becomes, matter becomes clearer. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell us about, at the end as well, the Day of Judgment. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Inshallah, next week. What time should we have it next week? What time should we have the halaqah next week?
What time?
Well, I'm asking. Anybody have suggestions? Next week, Isha will be at 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we'll have it after Isha. We'll have it after Isha. We'll be at 8. So let us say, 8:20 or so next week. So we can, stretch it out a little bit, inshallah. Okay. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.